Hello, Fox News. Hello, ISIS. You guys are in collusion with America's allies and enemies originally and still. For example, they have. I saw somewhere a guy from on television. I believe he's on PBS. Um, Going over records of slaveholders before our founders were born in America entrenched. So, in other words, they had entertained what you can't entertain and do anything but hide life progressions, hide from and hurt each age of fact treatment nature of correlation nature, where they're going to have to defend positions of integrity which are non-existent originally and still. So we have criminal insidious nature to be needed to be understood. And so they're also using identity racketeering here. So these are fake sides. So people that don't like each other originally and still they're still in collusion. These are Justice Department racketeering. We have shared policing of our prisons, and that shared policing and a whole bunch of psychology racketeering, homeland and domestic, kept using to hide live progressions. Excuse me, because of the courts and because of the police forms in collusion, also with the other branch of government, distinctly, not distinctly, and together simultaneously, criminally foreign influenced, kept needing to hide live progressions, kept leading to hide styles, methods, needs, and actually recorded natures, defending how they're getting away with doing it with other natures and methods of predicate acts, as courts originally, as police forms originally, and as politicians originally, and still. Now, say we don't have free speech because they're defending identities of titles they can't defend without being, oh, but we need to defend. It's dangerous not to have people reliant upon, about valuing our positions. All kinds of fake nonsense. They're not following mandated law, and they're fighting to be able to get away with not hiding how they don't do that. They've been using the we have Sandy Hook, we have Trade Center racketeering acts rolls with former director of the FBI. Now that caused the 9/11. That caused and every time they make it, oh, they put it. These are experts. These are experts. They spend their time being invested further and further into reactions to identities that are group real, but they're also real individually and also real overall. Everyone together blaming the real causes of their negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures and selves on other things others than selves. I'm not doing that when I blame America. I'm blaming not America alone. This is each modern nation together. Every time they open their mouths, every time they counter each other, it's only to defend styles of what they call politics, fake, styles of lie progressions, styles of liars, pseudo positive treatments. Positive, what religions are about, Islam, what Islam is about, what the Bible is about, is about the Trinity. How is it about the Trinity if it's about five pillars? Because one Trinity has one identity that is self-generating. And so we are that Trinity self-generating. It's a shared identity. But we are already temporary positive as that, making more and more as a quality of diffusion, temporary / lasting positive or negative. But per this value nature system, per this values nature system, that modern markets positions in value nature systems are all tactically ulterior from. And tricked, hurt, persuaded, forced, worse, only let realized be legalized since semi-ancient times. You can't defend roles with that and as that and do anything but value The real causes of negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures blamed all the things others than selves. Acts like predicate acts. Natures like criminal and insidiousness natures. Wrongdoers, mass wrongdoing. So when they come down, they say, oh, what's the funding of this is? Oh, it's this. They're saying that, for example, when they say it's the funding, they're ducking behind how it's recorded actually, how we have our own side, and how we have other sides funding this stuff, directly and indirectly. Because, for example, their motivations are just for their defenses of their jobs, their defenses of their identity, the ground, positions, and roles with everyone speaking through others, and that's criminally exploited. So we have also further how they use Saudi against Saudi, and they're using their forced uses of their identity. Now they used former director of the FBI for that. They used the Scalora family, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. These are people, these are courts in our foreign and domestic crimes with child sex offender principals campus further. There are people in Cromwell with bars in Cromwell, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, also involved with foreign and domestic families, with mosques, with a guy who teaches in a Billah, who goes into the prisons, victim predator. Good guy, but he's a victim predator. With Dean Keyes and her family, also involved with families involved also with racketeering with their doctors of psychology. Her brothers have socially recorded her, real or made up. That's true, because those people are involved with racketeering with courts and their family members and police forms and other deans forging and switching names. And their family members involved with a pattern of racketeering, confessions involved with this leading up to the Trade Center attack. As ones in the Trade Center attack context associated with post-dated documents showed to the Ninth Circuit panel of judges. So they ruled it was handed in late. Post-dated from inside the court. It was proven afterward they had been time-stamped on time, hand-delivered, and they've been post-dated from inside the court to be appear late. That presented to the panel of judges. And so that proven led to a 2006 now in the Connecticut District Court case, where they have a whole bunch of people that were involved, not even as the co-defendant, federal criminal co-defendants, a former director of FBI, Robert Luskin, and other federal criminals tied to them that were watching from the audience. And you know, they attached the plaintiffs, they attached victims to fake ties, words, and relationships to others and locations. So these are human trafficking acts, roles with various natures of people, like with a Daniel King, a Dan King. I don't know. I guess he has brothers. I don't know if he has any sisters. His mother and father are associated with World Trade Center. God bless them as victims, but they're being used as victim predators by Wethersfield police. And I can't get a response in writing because they're valuing those victims as means to hide behind their roles. Again, with child principal sex offender. You see what I'm saying? And they have military families like a Justin Klavinskis, and people in Navy, and people with Air Force associated with racketeering with private schools and the public schools, and the racketeering uses of the police chief's daughter and of her extended family member, foreign and domestic, associated with Mazzucato pastry and modern pastry, also with a Fred Grisey, and with people associated with him who were involved with sexual abuses of girls, and as doctors of psychology, like a Leahy family is involved with them with formal drug crimes and with private drug crimes. I mean, overt gangs drug crimes. These are also people crimes with overt criminal enterprises, even and especially if they're undercover with them, like on and off Trinity College, recorded, confessed, also involved with them with racketeering uses of Kuwait, Afghan families, and their racketeering roles and uses of Wethersfield Library and Wethersfield schools of each age, as connections between the houses next and businesses next to schools, as the cliques involved with connected crime acts with databases, with other people's names. With Facebook, the Facebook page of New Britain Superior Court is involved with the racketeering here. Illusions, valued by ISIS, valued by our side, in collusion with them. Through other nations, how many times every time they go and they go to work, every time they think, they're criminally foreign influence. These are sick courts originally and still. So it was real that it was reality. For example, reality has a complete nature, and then there's when its complete nature is not the system we're following, it demonstrates with negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures. Again, like criminal insidiousness natures, acts like predicate acts. See, we have more predicate acts roles like wire crime, mail crime roles, illusions associated with the racketeering that led up to and in the Trade Center attack. Now, for example, Jon Stewart. There are also uses of theater, real and or made up. It's juxtaposed because he's a victim, but a victim predator of, in other words, where it counts with logic racketeering. So his style is to depend on he depends on the integrity of experts he doesn't even know, and they start. In other words, they have a method of communications. Either you shut your mouth and you rely on what other people say, which is our formal identities of jobs, stewards, not the people who are like a president is forced to rely on mass states and areas as this. So in other words, they want to blame them, and they want them to pretend they have integrity. With that they want them to pretend the White House has integrity it never had. So you can't. So that's not complete reality. That's criminal and insidious natures of positive treatments. What says that's reality? What entertains that? You know, let the stewards of the states and areas say that, not the guy working in the whose family was given freedom, but in New York, like in the 1600s, but not the rest, not all the black people. You know what I'm saying? Not anyone. Then no one has freedom if not everyone does. See, this is not just speaking for theater. You guys are only letting theater speak for our most critical logic, which is logic racketeering influence states and areas. They can't defend themselves and their bedabs and identities and stand correlation nature's means with sequence true, the order to the finite true, the order to the active true, the order to the progressive true, and identity's complete course true at the same time. 5 pillars! Now this is the Trinity's course. The order to the finite, active, and progressive at once. Sequence nature, which is the identity of, this is the hierarchy of sequence, where forever nature's identity, like all the identities of our body, it shares that identity, and they also have their own identity, which is a semi-nature relationship to our complete identity. Space is the same way, has this identity relationship onto and as the value of the smallest things. Bach sings, as the reality of the group, all identities of value progression together. It's bigger than that. And it's against smaller and more delicate than the smallest thing. And as what is active, value actually as reality complete. See, we have what is reality at the end of the whip, self-value. Rose blaming what all that causes on other things, others themselves. So now you entertain that, and life it keeps going. So now there are the lie progressions. That was what was entrenched here since before our founders' births, who didn't have free speech. Now they kept and keep education in people's nature so sick that people will debate that, pretending free speech is the right to debate that, for example, with passions and emotions dishonestly. with roles with identity thefts. They'll say, oh, they put the Constitution up. How could you say they don't have free speech? Just stupid formal roles with the stupid. And then they pretend they're other. The reason we don't have speech, in other words, our founders didn't have free speech, they had words forced. If they tried to fix the databases, they had states and areas were already colonies already entrenched before the ground of education. On and off campuses in layers, on and off databases in layers. All the groups with those databases kept lipogressions, kept standing lipogression cover-up natures that cannot afford each age of correlation natures means actually complete by actually complete reality, but it's not allowed to drive. We have negative value nature reality. We have criminal and insidious natures of reality forced respected, forced not told on. So to understand how ISIS, people that hate them, they hate them because, in other words, not before, besides obvious reasons, everyone fighting each other for physical reasons, not hating each other. They're victims of a shared enemy that is not sourced by another nation, but it's fluent through each. It is maintenance to these standing criminal and insidious natures. It is maintenance to their groups and lipogressions from each database originally and still. It is maintenance to roles, keeping that. It is maintenance to that the kept outcome. Everyone who moves into the judicial branch, everyone who moves into the executive branch, everyone who moves into the political branch of government, criminally foreign influence, delusions raw, fake positive, and valuing it. Positive treatments as criminal insidious nature, not as positives actual science, which is again sequence true, the order to the finite true simultaneously. The value of the order to the finite, the value to the order of the sequence, the value to the order of the active, the value to the order of the progressive, the value of identity's complete course, boxings, value. This is value's course. Speak about entertain, selling people, and then you're going to speak about value. I don't care if you're entertaining it historically. We don't have legal representation. We have degenerate courts recorded. Now they have the crime method of pretending we should sue them while they're in the background with various natures of courts and their family members already locked up, criminally involved. They're using their locations criminally. They're forging, switching names. You want me to sue them, have them pick one name and get them onto paper, because they also criminally don't provide paper. And the paper they do, they recorded, confessed, and demonstrated, is involved with sticking falsified police reports into databases all the time. Oh, but then they gave them we gave them alternative to that sense. If they could go and do this and go work with this program, this company in East Hartford works with us with this court in New Britain. Now East Hartford is involved also on and off that airplane pace. Also, there's a stripper club there. We're involved with people on and off CCSU that live next to CCSU, with the workers confessed and recorded, confessed and demonstrated, involved with racketeering with foreign and domestic police forms, and with police judges and prosecutors with New Britain Superior Court, with Hartford courts, leading up to and in the Trade Center attack. And then they confessed this also leading up to in 2006. Their racketeering acts rolls with the same ones leading up to the Trade Center attack, and also in 2006 case with a former director of the FBI, and other Connecticut cases since and before that. They've been racketeering acts and cases, putting illusions in databases with overt criminal enterprises, private ones originally, still you can't value, and also at the same time military you can't value, and also and at the same time they're criminally foreign influenced. There are a whole bunch of people associated with Mike Violet, and my neighbors tied to them. Other people tied to my neighbor, Justin Klavinskis, involved with them with racketeering on and off CCSU, on and off Trinity College with the military. As people involved with that also demonstrated involved with houses around the Samuel Dix house. All along Church Street, also recorded, confessed, demonstrated involved with them racketeering with mail crime, wire crime, drug crimes, like with the UPS, mail families, shipping families like Coca-Cola, people associated with wrestling, and the fire departments, victims. But victim predators, they want an opinion. I can't get an opinion. I mean, I can't get anything on writing. They need fights. We have FBI with their mental doctors of psychology involved with them with racketeering with that. Then they want to pretend they have integrity because they're FBI, but they have mental weakness and illness. And so they're pushing that on other people. They also have all kinds of people with the Social Security and with Medicaid, all that racketeering on and off. Fox Connecticut News is with a whole bunch of medical racketeering with agencies, racketeering with judges, racketeering with prosecutors, their kids, their family members, their kids involved with principal sex offender uses of themselves criminally with him. So they could hide their live progressions because they attached me to fake locations with them, fake words with them that never were at all. Now, these are also, Brian Silver is also recorded, confessed, and demonstrated involved with this Leahy family, with his kids and women in their family too. Two Brendan Leahys, with doctors and nurses, foreign and domestic, with racketeering cliques with New Britain Superior Court since I was a kid, with them attaching me to fake conversations. Now they have the Wethersfield police chief daughter in this, and a whole bunch of people tied to a Mazzucato family, and to a John Maiano, and to his family, involved with racketeering intercities all the way to CCSU, and with the houses in my area. Also, mass sequence shift roles, where I never knew John Maiano until after my class graduated. And now he's also involved with women prosecutors involved with him criminally, with personally, all kinds of natures of racketeering roles with him personally that they don't even understand. But they also do that. It's database racketeering. These are ill men and women with our courts. Originally, still one-way reports follow mandated law. See, they can't follow mandated law, and that is a maintained outcome for what is being used for here and there, sickly distinctly, to keep how sickly non-distinctly from being discerned, to keep how sickly simultaneously here and there anyone from being liberated, which is per logic's actual means, one way redeems. So I don't appreciate ISIS is obviously scary. I don't appreciate having to bring up ISIS. I don't appreciate having to beg online for goddamn response for the phone racketeering methods, forging names, switching names, officers, Wethersfield. Now, how many the Wethersfield police chief and his kids and retired and standing like with this Dillon family got involved with courts and with the racketeering with agencies with houses in my area, military, foreign, and domestic, overt criminal enterprises, the witness protection program, also direct and indirect ties to my street, and the houses involved with the database racketeering at the schools I went. Fucking speak for fucking nothing. Don't fucking speak. Get the fuck down, military too. You fake motherfuckers. You and fucking ISIS motherfucker. Speak for fucking Allah. Speak for the fucking Trinity motherfuckers. You guys are sick motherfuckers because you came through sick schools. So they have so they're gonna have criminal and ceaseless natures self-valuing. What keeps furthering the motherfuckers here and there, fake sides, motherfucker. Respond for your roles too, so I don't have to keep drawing maps to you motherfuckers. What are you doing in Cromwell too? What are you doing with that Lion's Den? What are you fucking doing with my fucking name, you dunk motherfuckers? It's alright you have opinion, you don't like me, motherfucker. What's that guy's name? With that fucking place. Not John Scully, him too, though, with his fucking roles, with these same overt criminal enterprises involved with the Kerr family, a DeMoro family, recorded, confessed, and demonstrated with retired and standing judges involved with them with fucking sexual circles, with fucking juxtaposed overt criminal enterprises, male crime rolls, wire crime rolls, private school kids involved with the interbranch rap mobs, with the private school, with the public schools, putting fake things into databases, preventing people writing when they're having everyone speak through other criminally, fake sides of correlation nature, which is a trinity. We have a fake AB, fake positive. One identity, the identity of relationship to itself is positive or negative. But what makes it positive or negative? It's positive to the 5 pillars at once. Yeah! Motherfucker. Excuse my language.